My first live music performance was at the Chicago Red Line stop. I would always carry my guitar everywhere I went, and that just seemed, I would see these street musicians that were performing there when I would get off the train, and I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna do that. It's like no other experience that I've ever really come across as far as performing. It's not like, you know, you have a show and these people are coming to your show to see you. You're going to see the people, you're going to meet them at their job, and you know, you have this little 5-minute or 7-minute or 10-minute if the train's delayed, this little segment of introducing yourself to them and really kind of put on a show.
TV, dialing $4 is trying to find me, and I wait for delivery each day until 3. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Oh Lord,
I've met girls down there, they've thrown their numbers. I've been robbed down there. I've been put in jail down there for trespassing and spent the night in jail. So a lot of array of experiences down there, but it's taught me a lot about performance and the art of performing too.
So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? And I've done you wrong. You've done me all right.
From there, I got hooked up with a young lady. Her name was Lindsay Wilson, and she was a young promoter, and she started booking me. And I really didn't have any intentions of playing like a, you know, I didn't know how to go about doing that. And it was my band, and it was called Remington Pettygrove. But it was with like just really close friends, and I think that's just a great memory for me of you know, setting up in the kitchen and turning the amps on and like having no heat and just playing in a small little kitchen and like, you know, in a 3-flat, and these people are like stomping on the floor. And, you know, I mean, it's just that's a really great, you know, and the cops coming in and being like, you guys, we're playing like a rock show right now, and we're like, yeah, we got to practice, we got a gig coming up, you know.
No, there's nothing.
It was just that moment in time, you know, it was just like this little magical thing that happened. You're only 25, 26 for a moment, you know, and then you move on, and there's a different scene now that I'm a part of.
And I'll paint you more pictures.
When I go into the studio, I like to at least have like some type of framework so that I know what I'm doing, so I'm not just blowing dollars. I wish that I could just go into a studio and be like, I'm going to write an album, but I'm not there yet, and I'm not sure that I'll ever have that luxury. I think the process of being in the studio, and it seems so professional that it's sometimes it's a little hard to like kind of for me to unwind and just let things kind of turn out or be what they are. You know, I record all my demos like I do it all through GarageBand, and I use like the internal microphone of the computer to do the demos, and I've kind of got good at like doing that, but no, I probably wouldn't have brought like a 4-piece orchestra set to like my studio apartment. So that was definitely something that we're here in the studio, we gotta maybe explore this and see where it goes. We were all hearing strings on it, so we were like, yeah, we should do that.
Apart and Apart's the one that's like, there's too much going on in the chorus.
Yeah, things need to kind of be...
So, I mess with this for a minute.
This one,
we'll go to part to part.
yeah, I think this one, if we get there's not a lot of instruments here, and I think if we can get the right vibe as far as him being in this like hall by himself, you know. I my preference is towards like lo-fi kind of.
Go for it.
As far as the strings and stuff like that, though, I mean, do we want to keep those kind of or just do them too? You know, it's like.
That'll be the.
So we can do like let's start with the.
Yeah, we'll start with the vocal and the
vocal and
piano,
everything,
and then
yeah,
see if
piano.
it's too much of a.
I mean, I kind of like the piano the way it is, but I can also see what it sounds like being affected too. You know?
Right, because the piano's already like affected in kind of a cool way.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool to sit down, especially with Rick, who's worked with Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys and John Mellencamp and all these guys, and just these stories. Listening to him tell these stories is well worth the time that is spent there too. Joe's very accomplished. He's played in a lot of bands. He's worked on projects and does some film scoring too. And just a great songwriter, great guy, and that's kind of why I decided to bring him on to help produce the record and bring new ideas to it.
I can't let you go for reasons I still don't quite know.
This has been my first experience with a bigger production, like going into a professional studio, working with a professional engineer and a producer, and then bringing in talented musicians to play on the record. But after doing that, honestly, it validated all the experiences that led up to that, because that's all part of the journey. And making the record in your room, or just getting the ideas, that's where music happens. That's where all art happens, is in that spontaneity, and when the moment arises, you're able to capture that. And the main thing about any art form, I think, is being open and willing to listen when those emotions and that concept comes to you, and then getting it down and out however you can get it recorded or captured on paper or on film.
Yes, I just want you to know that we share the same kind of fear. So honey, why don't we stop chasing all over? Yeah, honey, why don't you rest your head upon my shoulder? 'Cause I just want you to know that I care. Yes, I just want you to know that we share the same kind of fear. Yes, 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 the same kind of fear. Well, I can't let you go for reasons I still don't